Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. Today we're going to be making a tall junk journal with one single envelope, and I'm going to be using the Paper Studio Our Family Tree cardstock to make this. So won't you join me? I don't know if you could hear Judgy in the background panting, but he's kind of upset right now. All right, so I have prepped quite a bit for this video because I'm still not able to edit because I'm waiting for the line for my internet from the pole to my house to be replaced. So it's really glitchy, guys, so I'm doing my very best here. I took one of the pages and I cut it down to 8 1/4 by 9 1/2 inches, and I folded it in half the long way, and then I took my circle punch and I punched a little notch out. I did go ahead and ink it up so it's all ready to go. Now let's bring our envelope back in. I'm not even sure. Did I tell you that the envelope was 4 inches by 9 1/2 inches? I'm not sure if I told you that. Oh, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this folded piece of cardstock and we're going to slip it right here where the closure is, the flap for the envelope. So it's going to be just like this because here is the pocket of the envelope. So I'm going to remove the little sticker here. I'm going to use my art glitter glue and I'm going to glue my flap down. See if I can get my glue to come out. Oh, sure. All right, so I think I've got my glue to come out. There we go. I think. Ooh, that's kind of a glob there. All righty. And let's get this glue on our flap. Then right here, opening this little piece, and we're going to make sure we have the notch here on the top and the opening like this. We're going to stick it right in here and we're going to glue it down. So I'm sticking it in my envelope so it's not going to be sticking out, hopefully. No, it's not going to be sticking out. Got that glued down. Now we're going to glue this and we're going to make a pocket on the front of our little envelope journal. So I think it might be easier for me to take my glue and add it to the edge of my paper here to make a pocket. I'm going to glue the bottom. Oops. And then let's close it, so that we can make a pocket right on the front of our envelope, which is going to be our front of our journal. Okay? All right, so it opens up just like this, and we have our pocket right here at the top. Let's do a little bit of decorating. I have a dish right here, and I have some different things in the dish. I've got a piece of lace right here I thought would be pretty. This is so long. Maybe I'll turn it this way. And goodness gracious, I have lots of different things here. I don't quite remember what I was going to do here. Let's see. I have some gauze that I've coffee dyed, and I wanted to place this on the front also. Let me grab my hot glue gun and let's get this lace down first. All right, so I have my lace glued down. Now I have another little strip of lace. I think I'd like to place it right on the top, just like this. So I'm going to glue this down. Both of the laces are glued down. Now it's time to glue our gauze down. I think maybe I want it to be something like this. I think I'm even going to gather it a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit of glue here and there, and then use my little stick and get it stuck down into the glue this way. All right. Do some of you have those Tim Holtz flowers? I bet a lot of you do. I still have lots and lots of them. I thought we could use this today. So I have got a label from Chapter 1 Papers, and I kind of think I want to pop it on there. Maybe something like this. I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and I'm going to just lightly place a little glue here on the label and then stick these stems in between this label and then glue it down like that. So now it's all in one piece and it's a little easier to handle. Adding my glue, and I'm using my hot glue, my Surebonder high temp glue gun. And I'm going to glue this right here on the top, maybe something like this. Get this glued down. And then I have a little bow that I made from Sari silk from Crimson Heart Studios, and I'm going to pop it right on the bottom of these flowers like this, and I'm going to glue down the little streamers or the ends of these pieces of the bow down like that. I also have a little bit of bling. Now, I don't know, maybe down here. Then again, I was thinking maybe way up here, maybe even over here on the side. I'm just really not sure. Oh, maybe right there. Okay, let's get that glued down right here. So let's pop that into the hot glue. I made a tag out of some coffee dyed cardstock. There's that truck again. And I made it to go right here in this pocket, right there at the top. I wanted to do a little bit of stamping. So I have my Stays On Timber Brown, and I have my paragraph stamp. Adding a little ink to my stamp, I'm going to just stamp it here and there on my tag. Maybe something like that. All right, I'm happy with that. Let me shut this off, put the lid back on my Stays On so it doesn't dry out. And let's go ahead. Where is my Sari silk? I wanted to put a little bit more Sari silk on the top, but I don't, oh, here it is, way over here. I don't know how it got over there. I was thinking maybe just something like this so it sticks out of the top of the pocket. So adding a little bit of glue here, and I need another glue stick. I also thought it would be kind of fun to add a butterfly on my tag. Maybe something like that. I thought it went well with the flowers, and adding a little glue onto my tag so I can, my label I mean, onto my label so I can add it all together and glue it on my tag. There, this way, Cathy. Okay. I think that looks great. Now, I'm not going to put any bling or anything on the butterfly because I don't want it to be too bulky in the pocket. So let's get this in the pocket, just like that. Oh, I think that's cute with that sticking out. Alrighty, so now let's work inside. So this is lovely right here. You can journal on that. You can decorate that a little bit more if you wish. And I have another piece of that paper, and I want to pop it right in here so that it has a little bit of decoration inside the pocket, like that. Now, I'm going to stick my glue down here and just glue it in this way instead of trying to take it out and get it to slide back in, because sometimes I struggle with that. Now, let's make sure this folds. It folds just fine. Alrighty. So now we have a pocket and it's all decorated in here. I'll have another tag that I can pop into this pocket. I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on this also, and maybe a little bit of stamping right here. is my Stays On Timber Brown. I'm sticking with that color. It really almost looks black. It's very dark. And just like I did before, I'm just going to stamp here and there. I'm not really looking for it to be perfect. In fact, I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to be just kind of random. That's what I'm going after. Random stamping. Like that. I think that looks great. So let me put this away. Now I have another dish here with a few more pieces. I have another piece of lace. I kind of thought maybe a little bit of lace here. I'm not sure which way I want to turn it. Maybe I want to turn it this way. Let's get this glued down. I also have another piece of that same paper. Let's get this glued down. Maybe something like that. Using my art glitter glue, I'm going to pop it on right about here. A little bit of that gauze, and let's see, how exactly do we want to do this? Maybe something like that. So let's get the gauze glued down next. So just a little bit here. It sticks to your finger so terribly, right? Let me get my little stick here. Alrighty, and then I've got a label, Chapter 1 Papers label. Oh, that's real sweet, like that. So I'm going to glue my flowers onto my label first, and then I'm going to glue the whole thing down on top. Maybe something like this. Okay, and then I have these cute little butterflies over here, and I thought maybe we could take just a little bit of this gauze, not a lot, just a little, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, stick that gauze in that glue, and then let's just pop a butterfly on, maybe about right here, and then we could pop this other one on. Let's have it in flight. Have it taken off like that. Oh, that's pretty cute. Now I've got my tag. My tag slips right in here just like that. So now we've got a pocket here on the front, and then we have a pocket inside that's decorated. And I have some papers, you know, guys. I have that tracing paper, coffee dyed, lined book pages that are coffee dyed. And I put in, let's see, how many did I put in here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 pages, so that's 10 total. I don't think that's going to be too awful many. I also have my little sheet that I always use to sew in my signatures. And what is that about? That's a piece of scratch paper that's the length of my journal, and it's about 1.5 inches wide this time. And I fold it in half the long way, and then I fold it in half again. And where the folds intersect, I put a little dot. And that is where you're going to take your awl, and you are going to make a hole to sew your signature in. All 3 of those dots, and now your signature will be evenly spaced within your journal. Now don't forget to take this little sheet off. I'm just going to slip this right back on like this, and then we're going to sew in our signature. I'm going to do a very simple pamphlet stitch that's into the center hole, and then one of the other holes, doesn't matter which one, pull it through all the way down to the other hole, pulling it through, checking to make sure you're not caught on anything, back into the center hole, and then I always like to even up my thread. I am using bookbinding thread, and that makes for a very nice material to sew in your signature. You don't have to leave it open and put that little glob of glue on because it's a little bit waxed. But if you're using embroidery thread, you will need to go ahead and leave your journal open and put a little dollop of glue to make sure that your knot stays knotted. Oh my goodness, look how pretty this is turning out. There's our cover with our tag, and then this is our front, and these are our pages within our signature. Oh, so many journaling spots. You can always stamp on them, add a little bit of ephemera, another tuck spot, and here's the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew in a couple of beads on the end, so we'll have a couple of dangles. Here are the dangles that I made for this journal. Oh, you guys, I love this journal. It doesn't even fit all on the screen. It's so much fun. It's easy to make. You can make it and put it on another journal as a journal topper. You could give it as a gift. You could use it as a standalone journal. It's so much fun. It's easy. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.